Hello. Welcome. I'm Harry. Let's talk. Every day we have to go through confrontations. Every day. We're confronted by decisions, by different people, by whatever obstacle is put before us. The person I wasn't able to really effectively deal with any of the obstacles that he went through. And I want to talk to you today about an obstacle that I had recently, a confrontation I had to go through. And I want to talk with you about the process, the ideas, the kind of mindset behind how I responded and how I got the response that I so desired. It turned out, at least for now, better for me. But, we'll see. Hello, thank you for watching my video. I make soap, and I've made a website online where you can buy it. The link will be in the description. It's called barebackrub.co.uk. There's free shipping for every 2 packs you buy in the UK. So check that out below. So the other day on the work WhatsApp group, I was asked to do a task. I had a night shift, so I was doing work at night. When I had a particular job that needed to get done extra on top of what I already had to do. And then when I arrived at work, I got there and it was pandemonium. So much hadn't been done that the jobs that I would usually start at 10 in order to be on time for the next jobs. I started 2 hours later, I think it was like midnight or like 12:30. So I omitted those jobs. Hey. Hello.
Charlie.
Hello, Charlie. How you doing? I'm Harry. How are you doing? Very, very good. Perfect.
Oh yeah. Think it's love making friends.
Yeah, so do I. Very good. Have a good day.
All right.
A couple of dogs came by. Okay, so where was I? Oh yes, that's right. So I've been asked to do the job. When I got there, it was pandemonium. I had to finish jobs. I had to finish the jobs that weren't done by the previous people, and it's not their fault. They're new. They're inexperienced. They don't have the. They're not as quick. They don't have the knowledge. They're not quite as switched on. I've been there for a few months now, so I kind of know a bit more about my particular area. And so it just needed to get done. I was at least 2.5 hours behind. So I had to rush around and get all these other jobs done, and then start that, and then continue on with everything else. So it just didn't get done. It just didn't get done. So my overseer, the one who'd asked me to do the job, got there in the morning, looked for the work that I was supposed to do, the extra job, saw it wasn't done, and then decided to send a message publicly on the public WhatsApp group. She didn't get in touch with me privately. She didn't call. She didn't speak to anyone about the last night's shift. She just I asked it to be done. It's not done. There's a problem, and I'm gonna assert my dominance here. And so at this point, I want to take a little pause and talk about the kind of mindset I have. That's the kind of situation. So the first thing is, I've become a reasonably observant person when dealing with different individuals. I have the habit of, not talking as much as I had before. I still talk a little bit, clearly I've got a YouTube channel. When I'm talking with people, I keep most of my own things to myself, and I like to let other people talk and see how they act, and to try and get, like, it's like an aptitude test from me to them. Like, not, I'm not asking any weird questions. I'm just, however the conversation goes, it just, I learn things. And this particular individual, this overseer, they have a lot of problems. It seems that way. Some of them self-inflicted, some of them caused by other people, and she's dealing, they are dealing with an awful lot. So, when it comes to most individuals in the world, most of them have a very low emotional competency level. And that's for most people, and that was me for a long time. That's most people. Most of my family's the same, most of everybody's family is the same. Very low emotional level. And this is because when when most people are young, they don't have the, for a long time now, they've not had the father figures. And because they haven't had father figures, the mother figures haven't been too great, and then all the people around them are in the same situation. So, and then there's the brilliant law that you are the median of the 4 people you spend the most time with, and if you're around people like this, most likely you're going to be like that. And maybe in another video we can talk about at least my experience in developing beyond this, or trying to develop beyond this. So if this is the case, this is going to sound a little bit mean, but there's a caveat that I'll say after. You have to, I find that it's better to view people as children. Just because they're in an adult body does not mean that they are adult with emotionally, mentally, spiritually. But when you're dealing with a child, if you start shouting back at a child, like, what does that say about you? So, then that shows how childish you are. If that's the case, how are we supposed to view them? So, we'll all have off days, but I think as a general rule, we should view people as children that we love, that we care about. And, there's a bit of nuance there. You can't care about everybody. But when you're dealing with a confrontation, all the way from like a chess match to an MMA fight, it's the same thing. If I move here, I know he has to do this. If I'm in an MMA fight and the one I kicked him like this before, he was very defensive, so then I can use that to my advantage, right? So it's a game, and we see people for what they are, and we show them, we lead them down a path. And so, I was led down the path of this, publicly being, shamed, we'll call it, by someone who we'll call childish. And so, when I say deal with them like a child, it's not, be sarcastic or be, look down on them. The way you deal with a child is you get down on their level, you look them in the eye, you show that like it's okay. You're allowed to feel whatever feelings you have, but you're not allowed to act in any way that you want to act. You have to, just because you feel something doesn't mean that's what everyone's feeling. But if you hurt someone, now there's 2 people that are definitely hurt, right? If you're hurt and you hurt someone else, now there's 2 people. The problem is just multiplied because you didn't deal with it. So what I'll do is I'll read to you my response. So, I don't want to call out anyone in particular, but I'll read the response that I had. There we go, that I gave. There you go, perfect. So I highlighted the response, the call out, and I said, good morning. I don't appreciate being called out on a public chat. That is not professional, and I don't appreciate it. If you had asked the on-shift manager before he left, he would have explained. He would have explained that so much work was put upon both of us on arriving, so we had to catch up on the tasks that weren't fulfilled. 3. I started the toilets and lobby at midnight when that was when I was supposed to be finishing up the mopping, which would have given me time to do the task that you had asked. 4. There was way too much to do, and it was very disorganized. Just to get back on track. Thank you for understanding. From my opinion, maybe you'll say something different. Maybe you can put in the comments how you feel about how I responded. From my opinion, and from those around me that I've shown this to kind of get, did I act in the right way? To kind of, asking other people like a barometer. It seems to be that I've acted, reasonably well. So, and I got, I didn't lose my cool. There was no "how dare you can't do that." When you go down to a childish level, and they are the bigger child. If someone bullies you, and you react, you're just only giving them more fuel. But if they bully you and you remain calm, and you don't show them the emotion that they want, then they'll lose interest and go away, just like a bear with if you see I think it's a brown bear. If you see a brown bear, what do you do? It's the brown, black, and polar. I know definitely with a polar bear, with one of the other two, you're supposed to get down into a ball and kind of just like, hide your back, wear a big backpack, and hold your innards, and just hopefully they'll lose interest. And if they lose interest, you're okay. Right? That's how you're supposed to respond. If that's what happened, the response by the supervisor above all the managers was very much seems to be in my favor. That it was let's keep, some of the comments were along the lines of, let's keep the let's keep all the, I just forgot the word. Let's keep all constructive. The response from the store manager was to let's keep all the constructive criticism, off this chat. We want this chat to be a positive place. And then there was a follow-up message saying that I've spoken to people, and it was pretty much pandemonium back then. So it is reasonable, that things were missed just to catch up on other things. But something along those lines. So what's the takeaway from all this? Well, I'm not saying this to to put someone down, or to big myself up. The aim is to kind of show how to deal with conflict. So we focused much in the video, focusing outward, like see them as children, and you don't shout back at a child, No, it's very emotionally unintelligent to shout at a child for like being childish, right? Wait, what do you want? You're the adult here. But if that's the case, then the other side of that, the obverse, is you need to view yourself as the adult, and so you decide who you're going to be, decide well before who you are, what you like, why you matter, because the truth is you do matter. And I'll always bring this back to the biblical standards. Maybe in another video we can talk about some of the things that I've got in my mind, but when it comes to when it comes to issues like abortion. So this is a bit of a, we're going off on a little bit. When it comes to like abortion, it's that the thing inside the woman isn't, it's not a human yet. It's, they use dehumanizing language. But the Christian standard, the basis on all Western laws, is based on one thing that the Bible says. And that thing is that we are created in God's image. Let's create man in our image. Hello. Hello. That's my bag. Hey there, mate. All right. Another dog walking his dog. So we're all created in God's image. And if that's true, that means, that one sentence means that God sees us as powerful, incredible, intelligent, having a good sense of justice, moral, upstanding, all these really, really great things. And so, now taking it away from the abortion back to the thing, right? So if that's the standard, that's what we are. Then we are powerful. We are spiritual. We are just. And we should hold ourselves to that standard. So when we deal with people in the world, when we are confronted by whatever it is we are confronted by, see yourself accurately. See yourself in truth. And the truth is, you are an adult. You are strong. You are all the things that you are. And the great thing is, you get to decide who you are. Just because other people tell you that you're less than, they try and put you down, go back to the standard. That one law, that one thing, we created man in our image, means how, I am incredible. So even if I don't believe it, God believes it. So that's the kind of point of this video. See yourself as great. And when you see them as a child has the potential to be great. And I heard this comment. It was on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but they said it was Dr. Phil said it. So this is like fifth hand that I've got this from a TV show. But I really liked what they said. So it was the character Jake Peralta said that Dr. Phil said that you teach people how you want to be treated. And I think that's a much better standard than you treat people how you want to be treated. So if by how I act, I teach people, and by what I say, I teach people how I want to be treated, and I better teach them. I better make boundaries and accept their boundaries. And if you are treated with a lack of respect, okay, that's fine. If you're treated with a lack of respect, respect is given until lost, and then it is earned. Everyone, from the moment you meet them, deserves respect. And you deserve their respect. They don't have to give it to you, it's their choice. But respect is earned until it is given. Respect is earned until it is lost, and then it is given. Respect is earned. Okay, let's calm down. All right. Respect is given until it is lost, and then it is earned. So, let's end the video there. It's been a really great conversation. I'm so glad that you came all the way to the end. So, I think I'm going to make a little. I'm going to cut the video right at the beginning and add a little advert, but I'll say it now as well. I make soap. One day I went to the supermarket and I bought this soap, and it was like 5 in 1. It was like hair, beard, face, body, and engine oil, or whatever it was, right? And I was like, this is the greatest thing ever, right? And I got very excited about soap. And I thought, you know, I'm excited about someone else's soap. Could I make soap? So I did. I've made some soap. It's called, the brand is Bare Back Rub, and the first scent or flavour, if you want, I wouldn't recommend eating it, it's Pine Wilderness. I wanted to create a soap that was, oh, hey sir.
Oh.
I wanted to create a soap that was, you know, not something, you know, I kind of thought that in my imagination, most people who buy soap are women, you know, and you know, men take pride, but I kind of thought I've not really taken pride a lot in how I dressed, how I looked, how I smelled, how I came across for a long time, and you know, being clean is like now really, really important to me. Sometimes I shower like twice a day, and having like a soap made for men, like it's for dudes, you know, it smells like how a woman would want you to smell, not smells like a woman because you're using a woman's soap. So that's, you know, so I made it. You know, I've gone on long enough now. So the link will be in the description. It's barebackrub.co.uk, and I'm doing these kind of like, you know, I say variety packs. I'm not too sure what to call it, but like you know, a starter pack with like 3 soaps, and it's £12 plus shipping. But if you buy 2 packs, it's free shipping in the UK. So if you're in the UK, get yourself some soap. You know, if you want to smell like a man, you know, you're a man. Now it's time to smell like one. All right. Well, I'll leave you there. Have a fantastic day. Thank you. You know, I really do appreciate you watching, and I'll see you soon. See you in the next video. It's been a while since I made a video actually, so hopefully next time it'll be a lot sooner. All right. See ya.